still got close enough, as you guys are talking about addressing root causes in the region, for a smuggler to throw them over a wall into the desert. And I'm just curious what the White House is doing to stop that from happening.
And are you concerned more about the kids' safety, or are you concerned about kids getting in, or tell me more about your concern here?
Kids' safety is, as you just mentioned, the main concern.
Well, of course it is, which is why I'm often surprised by some of the line of questioning in here. But I will say that our concern and our focus is on sending a clear message to the region that this is not the time to come. You should not send your kids on this treacherous journey, that these smugglers are preying on vulnerabilities in these communities. There's a lot of issues and steps we need to take to address root causes. So, of course, our concern is for the safety of these kids. These Border Patrol agents who save these kids deserve our thanks and our gratitude for ensuring their safety.
All right. That was Peter Doocy trying to nail Jell-O to a wall. Here to comment on that, Tom Homan, the former acting director of ICE and currently a senior fellow at the Immigration Reform Law Institute. He was just at the border, so he can tell us what he has seen and what is really happening despite what Jen Psaki says. Tom Homan, thank you for joining us this morning.
Thanks for having me.
So that visual that Peter Doocy was explaining there, that he was trying to get an answer from Jen Psaki on two toddlers being launched over a 14-foot wall. If a parent in this country had done something like that to get their kids into, I don't know, Beverly Hills or something for a better education and a better life, those parents would be arrested for endangering the life of their children. Yet we now are calling this compassionate. Where's the disconnect here? What's happening?
First of all, the only compassion I seen on the border were the men and women of the Border Patrol. When I was out there, within 20 minutes, I had almost 200 apprehensions of family groups. I saw a 7-year-old little girl who was crying, really scared, and I saw a big, burly Border Patrol agent get on his knees, lower his voice, speak to her in Spanish, talk to her like a dad, and within 2 minutes, she cracked a smile. I saw Border Patrol agents hug children. I saw them give candy to a couple of children. That's the only compassion going on this border. Let's be clear. The Biden border policy are causing the surge. Their open borders policy are causing parents to put their children in the arms of criminal cartels, which puts them at danger. 31% of women get raped making that journey. Children die. Children already died. A 9-year-old died the other day. A mother and 2 children were drowning in a river. Border Patrol was able to save and resuscitate the mother and one child, but the one child couldn't be resuscitated. The only thing Jen Psaki said that was right up there is that she thanked the Border Patrol. Unlike the President of the United States, the Commander-in-Chief, who had a press conference and made a claim that Border Patrol are watching children starving to death on the riverbanks and not doing anything. That is the most disrespectful statement by a Commander-in-Chief to the men and women of the Border Patrol I've ever heard. The 4 days I was down there, I learned 2 things. They have absolutely no respect for this president. They think he's abandoned them, and they know he caused this surge. It could have been prevented, but his policies, he knew what he was doing. And the Secretary of DHS, there is zero respect for him down there because he stays on national TV and states the borders closed, the borders secure. And these men and women down there are busting their butts. They know differently. So the leadership, the department and the White House has lost total respect in the men and women down there securing our nation, or trying to.
And when you lose morale, you lose the will to do the job, and you lose the ability to recruit new people to do the job. What is the state of the morale with the Border Patrol?
It's never been worse. I started my career in the Border Patrol. The men and women recognize me. They see me on TV a lot. They know I was a Border Patrol agent. They'd walk up and talk to me and speak freely about what's going on. And the morale's bad, but, they're going to keep doing the job because they're just that. They're American patriots. They're heroes. They're going to keep doing the job. They're just miserable. They didn't sign up for this. They want to secure the border. They want to save lives, and they want to enforce the law. People enter the country legally should be returned to the country, should be arrested. But they're sitting there. The Border Patrol stations are more like welcoming centers now. These men and women are just frustrated because they know what's happening. When they're busy with 200 family units, they see the sensor traffic and the drone traffic and the camera traffic of the bad guys, the cartels, using the border to get through when they cause this crisis. 50% of Border Patrol is no longer on the line. So I was standing with those agents with 200 cases. He said the nearest Border Patrol agent was about 3 miles away, and he says 3 miles of this border right now is wide open. And we know the cartels are moving drugs through there, but we're busy with 200 kids over here. We can't go, and they know what's happening, and they're handcuffed. They can't do their job.
Should President Trump visit the border? He's been talking about it because President Biden apparently has no interest in visiting the border. Would that be something that would benefit the Border Patrol agents as far as their morale goes?
Absolutely. Absolutely. President Trump, let's not talk about the wall. That wasn't President. I respect President Trump. I love him, but the wall wasn't his idea. What he did differently than Joe Biden, he talked to the experts. What do you need on this border? And Border Patrol said we need a wall. It'll help us. It'll keep us safer. Make operations more efficient. And where's everybody crossing right now? Where there's not a wall. The wall worked. The President Trump went down. He talked to the men and women. What do you need? What isn't working? What is working? And look, he gave us the most secure border in my 34-year career, and Joe Biden tore it down in 2 weeks. Now, Joe Biden's transition team talked to the experts, and they told them, if you end this policy, if you end that policy, you're going to see a surge like you've never seen before. And they went, what did they do? They did it anyways. Again, this is by design. Joe Biden sold out this country and our national security and border security to win an election because he needed progressive left open borders votes. And there's no other reason why this is happening, because it is on purpose. This isn't an accident.
What really worries me about all of this is what you laid out in such stark terms, that we have thousands of people crossing our border every day who are being used as human shields in order to enable the enrichment of the vicious drug cartels just south of our border. And I don't know if we'll ever be able to get our arms around how much money and how many lives have been affected by the cartels. But Tom Homan, you've made a really good case this morning that we're enabling the absolute worst of humanity here with these policies.
Look, the cartels, they celebrated the most after this election. They knew they were back in business, and they were making millions of dollars a day. And let's remember what happened during the last family surge crisis on the border. Over 62,000 Americans died from fentanyl overdoses that were smuggled across that border. The criminal cartels, they manage the border. They decide when and where these large groups of families goes. They direct them. Yeah. And they say, you cross at this time at this place. And when they do that, they move their products to another part of the border.
Yes.
It's not rocket science, and this administration is ignoring it.
Sounds like a battlefield. My goodness.
Tom Homan, thank you so much. Thank you for joining us. We really appreciate your time. And it's good to have people on the border who do care about our Border Patrol agents, because I can't imagine how demeaning their jobs have become. And it's good to have people sticking up for them. So thank you for being their voice. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. And thanks for shows like yours to tell the American people the truth.
Well, thank you.